G'day trendsetters. In today's video I want to show you a little bit about saving peas, or saving seeds in general, but in this case peas. It's the beginning of October, well and truly the end of winter, and these guys have dried off nicely and they're ready to be picked. But just initially, just to start with, why save seeds, or a few good reasons to save seeds. And probably the best, or the top of the list if you like, is that seeds saved and regularly planted back in the same garden get a kind of genetic memory. There's probably a more scientific term to it than that, but it's a genetic memory of what it needs to grow and flourish in your conditions, in your soil. So when it comes time to planting your pea seeds again next year, they've got that little bit of extra stored genetic information in there to get away and get going and produce a bumper crop for you. Another one I like is that saved seed is fresh. So you buy a packet of seeds from your local seed place. Who knows, they could be 2 or even 3 years old before they get to you. And the other thing with fresh seed is that it will germinate quicker and more readily, and at a higher percentage you get a higher percentage germination rate from your own saved seed. Another good reason is it saves you money. You're not buying that packet of seeds every year. You're not running the risk of them getting old and not being much good for anything. And another reason, if you like, is it's a bit of fun. Just a few other little reasons to save your own seed is generally you will save seed in abundance. So you'll have more seed than you need, which means you can give it away to friends who are maybe starting their own veggie garden, and it won't cost them anything to plant a row of peas next season. Another reason is that you know what you're getting. Sometimes, not very often, but sometimes packets can be a little bit misleading. Your plants will grow bigger than you think, than the packet says they will, or they grow smaller, or sometimes it's totally a different variety altogether. So there's that as well. Now, just a few things to be aware of when you're saving seeds is that you want to save seeds from the bush that went to seed last. Also that it had a reasonably good vigor. It grew well without too much trouble. If you had in this case, a pea bush that struggled, didn't grow well, but still produced seed, I wouldn't save that seed. But if you had another one that grew well, produced well, and you had 3 that did the same, but there was one bush there that held off right to the last before it went to seed, I would grab that one, because then you're going to be able to produce more peas from that bush. It's known as selective breeding. So you're picking the best each year from the seed you've saved, and that way you're continuously, it might only be incrementally, but you're continuously improving the strain of seed that you're saving. So there's a few things. So what do you need to do? Firstly, you'll need, well, in this case, a bowl, just so as I can break the seed pods open and drop the peas in. You will need a container. You will need to label it. Please, I've just got pea seeds written on this one, but the date is very important. If you go up to your shed 3 years' time and go, oh, they're getting a bit old, I don't know if I should plant them or not. So the date, label with what it is and the date. If you know the variety, I'm not aware of the variety, but I know this one is the height that I want. So I will write that on the label as well. It grows less than 1 metre tall, which is what I want from my little pea seeds. Good marking pen. This is from Artline. It's a garden marker pen, and it doesn't fade. Even your permanent markers out in the sun will fade eventually. So there's a few things. Now, all we need to do is wait for the seed pod to dry on the bush. Once it's dry, it's just a matter of grabbing it off the bush, dropping it into your bowl. Now peas will split quite easily. So all we want is that little seed. Here's your pea seed. Throw your leftovers behind. away, I mean. So they, yeah, once they're dry, they split really easy and the seeds just roll out. This is your next year's crop right here. Nothing easier. Peas, beetroot's quite easy. Beans are definitely the same as peas pretty much, except in summer instead of spring. Or autumn, I suppose, by the time you're ready to save seed. Beetroot, lettuce and carrot can be a bit fiddly. Cabbage isn't too hard. It's certainly worth having a go at. One of the other things you might need to do is to avoid cross-pollination between two different pea varieties. Further up, which is probably a good 30-40 metres away, I've got another pea, was a purple potted snow pea, which was really delicious, and I've never seen seed for that available, so I'm definitely keen to save that seed so as I can grow them again next year. But you need to keep a fairly good distance between two different varieties of seed so as to avoid cross-pollination. Not that there's anything wrong with that, it just means that you won't get what you grew last year, or you'll get something else, which might be a bit of fun. Might be a new variety that takes over the world. Who knows? That's it. Seed saving. I recommend it. Have a go. Let me know how you go. Any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And like and subscribe. Please. Helps the video, helps the channel grow. And I'll see you in the next video. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. But yeah, have a go. All you're doing, so instead of picking all of the peas off of your bush, you're going to leave half a dozen pea pods to dry, and your seeds will be inside those pea pods. Okay? If you want to get rid of, it's easy with big seeds. If you want to get rid of all the chaff in there, just when it's nice and dry like that, it blows away quite easy. And Bob's your uncle. Oh, that's the lens cap. Next year's crop. How many I've got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 or 30 seeds in there. More than enough. I could give half those away and I'll still have more than enough for myself. There you go. Save some seeds.